Hello everyone, and welcome to another PLC tutorial from ControlX. Today we will be exploring functions and function blocks in TwinCAT PLC programming. We will learn what they are, how to call and use the built-in functions and function blocks, and later we will jump into an application and create our own function and function block for use in the PLC. So let's get started. Let's start with functions first. A function is a reusable POU or program organization unit that will process the defined inputs and return a single result of the specified data type. Here are some of the well-known built-in functions. We have our standard Boolean operators like AND, OR, NOT, numeric comparison operators like less than, greater than, and then we have our math functions like the sine, cosine, and square root functions, etc. A function does not have any memory space, therefore all data of a function is temporary and only valid while the function is executed. This means that TwinCAT clears all variables declared in a function each time the function is called. Calls of a function with the same input always return the same output value. Functions can be called from programs, function blocks, and even other functions. However, function blocks cannot be used inside a function. Functions do not need to be declared like variables. We can use functions in the code just like any other TwinCAT operator without any declaration. This is, however, not the case with function blocks, as we will see later. Typical uses of functions are for converting data types, for example, integer type to real, scaling operations, for example, converting analog input voltage signal to pressure reading, and lastly, for performing simple calculations like converting temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Here's a simple example of a built-in function for calculating the square root of 2 and storing it in a variable. Functions can have more than one input, which can be evaluated to give exactly one result as the output. Here is TwinCAT's built-in AND function. In this implementation, it is taking in three Boolean inputs, and the output bit is a function of these three input bits. In this case, the output is true when all three inputs are true. This is how it looks like when programmed using one of the graphical languages provided in TwinCAT. Here's an example of a user-defined function which calculates the voltage drop across a resistor given the current flowing through it by using Ohm's law. We will create this function in the coding part of this tutorial. Before moving on to function blocks, let's first compare the differences between the two. Both functions and function blocks make PLC programming more versatile and improve code execution efficiency when used properly. Functions don't require declaration, whereas a function block must be declared or instantiated. Because of this, a function does not require any memory, whereas a function block requires memory. Since a function does not take up memory, there is no way to remember values of variables between scans. So a function must complete execution in a single scan, whereas a function block may take multiple scans to finish its task. For example, if you have an averaging function, it may take more than one scan to do the averaging. In terms of inputs and outputs, both functions and function blocks can have multiple inputs. However, a function typically has a single output. I say typically because there are ways to have multiple outputs by returning a structure, but that is for more advanced use case and we will not cover in this series. We did a tutorial on structures previously, so if you haven't checked that out, if you haven't seen that, please check that out. Now that we know the differences between functions and function blocks, let's explore them in more detail. Function blocks are a powerful programming tool and very handy in PLC programming. A function block is a reusable POU or program organization unit that can have multiple inputs and outputs. Unlike functions, function blocks must be declared or instantiated. Therefore, each instance of a function block must be assigned a unique instance name. Each instance of a function block requires its own memory space and therefore retains its value between PLC scans. Function blocks are typically used for more complex operations, which may require more than one PLC cycle to complete. Function blocks can be called by other programs or other function blocks. One of my favorite features is that we can monitor live values for every instance of a function block. So if we have multiple instances of the same function block, each with different input parameters, we can go in and see the live values of each instance. This comes in quite handy when troubleshooting. There are many standard function blocks defined in IEC 61131-3 programming languages. We have already covered some of the standard function blocks defined in the IEC standards like counters, timers, and triggers in our other videos. If you haven't seen them, be sure to check them out on our channel. Here are some more built-in function blocks from TwinCAT's toolbox. For our application programming, we will create a custom function block to meet our programming objective. We have an indicator lamp on our machine, and we want to be able to signal a few process states by using different flashing states on this LED. For example, on for 1 second and off for half second indicates some process related information to the operator, while on for 2 seconds and off for half second indicates another process related information. We will create a function block to do this. This way we can instantiate different versions of it with the required flashing states. Our function block would look something like this. It has two inputs, one for the on time and other for the off time. The output would flash based on the input parameters from the user PLC program. Once the function block is created in our program, we can create an instance of it called FB flash 1 with an output that flashes with 1 second on and half second off duration. We can create another instance of it called FB flash 2, which will give us a different flash bit with 2 seconds on and half second off duration. So let's hop onto TwinCAT and let's get coding. And we are in TwinCAT. So we will start the example of the function where we have to calculate the voltage drop across a resistor. So the user inputs are current and resistance value, and the output is the voltage drop using Ohm's law. So under POUs, we will add a POU function and of type real. Let's call it function vdrop calculator. And we will program using FBD this time. So this is the function block diagram, and we haven't used this in previous tutorials, so I think this is a good time to use this. So here we are. We'll define our inputs, and we also have to create the declaration for an output. So we'll call it var output, and this is where the output will go. So I'll go ahead and create the inputs and outputs. Now let's jump to the programming part. So here we need a multiplier. And if you remember Ohm's law, it's V is equal to IR. Our function is created, so we can close, save yes. Now in our main program, we can declare some variables for those three inputs and outputs. Now we can use the input assistant, right click, input assistant, or just press F2. Go to module calls. In our POUs, we have it here. So this is the function we just created, and it's telling you this is the input, another input, and this one is the output because it has the output sign. So we can go ahead and pass our inputs. We can run our program. Now we can pass values in, and the calculated value should appear here. So imagine we have 5 amps flowing through 0.25 ohm resistor. Push these values in. And there we have it, 1.25 volt voltage drop. I also want to point out that even though we created a custom function called function vdropCalc, and we provided our inputs and our outputs, we did make use of a built-in function called the multiplier. And now this one I picked up from the toolbox. I went to math operators, and you have different operators here. This is the one we use. And this is just to highlight that you can use functions within functions. Also, while using functions, it is not necessary to declare an output. Let me show you another way of executing the same function. So we have commented out the output variable, which means it doesn't exist. We can use the name of the function itself as the output, like this. So let's go back to main. I'll comment this out, and we will calculate the output voltage in a different way, just like this. Call the function, pass the inputs, and assign that to your variable. So a current of 2 amps on a 3 ohm resistor gives us 6 volts. Next, let's create our custom function block that we discussed earlier. So we're going to close this. This time we go to POUs, add POU, and this time we'll add a function block. I'm going to remove everything else. We'll call it FB underscore flash. This one we will use structured text. So you can see the declaration section of the function block comes pre-built with input, output, and local variable section. So I'll go ahead and create our required variables. And our function block is complete. Save and close. Now in our main program, we'll create our instances of the function blocks we just created. And our 2 output variables. We don't need this. I will use the input assistant again. Go to instance calls, and here are 2 instances. We'll select the first one. Now for the 2 input times, we could either declare 2 variables of type time, or we could just directly enter the time without using variables. Our output is the flash bits. For the second one, I will not use the input assistant. I will just do it manually. I can end this here just to show you different ways. So for the output, we will assign it outside of the function block. Is equal to FB. You can see the inputs and outputs, and this is the one I want. And there it is. So let's go ahead and run it. Now to visualize it, I've created a chart. And go ahead and run. Let's take a look. So if I just align this here, green is our FB flash 1 and black is the FB flash 2. As you can see, FB flash 1 is on for 1 second, off for half second, and FB flash 2 is on for 2 seconds, off for half second. Earlier I had mentioned that we can go into the function block instances and see the live values. So let's take a look at that. We don't need the scope anymore. I'm going to close that. So while I'm still logged in, here are my 2 instances. So if I just right click on this and say go to instance, this is showing me the first instance. As you can see, the input time is 1 second. If I go to main, click on the second one, FB flash 2, go to instance. Now I'm inside the second instance. As you can see, the input time is 2 seconds. We can put these side by side. And here, the 2 instances side by side. And each one is running independently in their own memory space. That's all for this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like these kind of videos, then please consider subscribing so you don't miss upcoming tutorials on TwinCAT. And if you have created your own function blocks, please share your experiences in the comments. Thank you for watching and keep innovating.